Hi
Okay.
everyone. I am here to share you my experience and at least my honest opinion as a professional tester or a performance tester with the tool and with the vendor itself, NeoLoad, Neotys, I mean. So in addition, I would like to share some of my knowledge or my lessons learned with regards to the challenges we've encountered along the way, and in case you were on the same scenario, at least it will help you out. So, but before that, let me introduce myself. So at least just to add some credibility, or at least you're not puzzled. Who's this guy talking? So this is me around probably 6 years ago. Do not ask me what happened. So life happened, guys. Responsibilities and all. Kidding aside, but I was a graduate of electronics and communication engineering here in the Philippines. So, long story short, I am working with Accenture for at least 6 years, and all those years I've been working as a performance tester. So I think it is safe to say that I have quite some experience when it comes to performance testing. So fast forward to the present. Just another short story on how NeoLoad was introduced, especially to me. So I actually quite know NeoLoad for quite some time now, but I just know it as another performance testing tool. I don't have actually experience with regards to the tool until one of the projects I'm currently deployed at decided to move to the cloud. So our team was tasked to conduct proof of concept activity with a different performance testing tool, and that includes NeoLoad. So as they say, the rest is history. Okay, now let me share you some of my experience with this tool, at least from a performance tester standpoint, or an end user as well. So one point is it is easier to use than some. Easier to use than some of the commercial tools. Yeah, yep. This is a paid tool, but Neotys will provide you a free license, so you can still definitely work on a proof of concept activity with using the free license with, I think, up to 50 users. So when I say it's easier, I mean, the interface is user friendly. So for anyone whom seen NeoLoad, or at least have opened the NeoLoad interface, you will know that this is a very friendly, especially for a beginner. It does not intimidate. Okay, so I have experience with other uh, performance testing tool that if you're a beginner and it's your first time to open the tool, it's just like you don't know what to do next. Uh, but in this case, with NeoLoads, all the buttons are in the same page, so you can definitely play with it, explore, and have fun doing the POC. So another point is that is it does not require heavy coding needed. So like me, I am not a geek, or don't have extensive knowledge when it comes to coding, especially when coding from scratch, right? So it is very assuring that I can work with this tool and feel I don't feel dizzy or stressed in using this tool. So it's very, very, very friendly. The other item that make it easy is the drag and drop. So there are actions that are predefined on the screen, and then you can just drag it and put some details on it. You don't need to put coding, as I've said earlier. So that makes it easy. Another thing is it's more scalable than open source tools. So we know that most of the open source tools are free, right? So but the applications it support is also limited. So I have experience using NeoLoad for these three major protocols, which is web HTTP using the normal web browsers, SAP. I'm currently working with an SAP protocol, and I'm very amazed on how the tool support this application. And last but not least is the mobile testing. So I've been doing I did a POC for mobile testing, and I was very impressed with all these protocols being supported by NeoLoad. So I can only share my experience with this because that's the only time I have used NeoLoad. But when it comes to NeoLoad, we are not sure. Maybe on the future, we can test applications on your Android televisions as long as it is connected to the net, or your applications on smartwatches. So uh, NeoLoad is a very adaptive when it comes to technology. So I mean, right now it's not yet possible, but definitely in the future, NeoLoad can support this kind of testing. Another item is this integration with the other tools. So definitely you can work or use NeoLoad as a standalone tool. In my experience, we are using this in performance testing. We can definitely do scripting with it, executions and analysis of the results, just as standalone. But what I know is this tool is integratable with others, especially on execution platforms like ALM. So one good point, another for NeoLoad. The next one is the support. Support is very knowledgeable about the tool. I know that it should be given that the vendor should know everything with the tool, right? But based on my experience, there are instances that when I raise the issue, it take quite some time before the issue was resolved. But in case of NeoLoad, uh, just a couple of sessions is enough, and the issue will be resolved. So thumbs up for that for the support, because they are very knowledgeable with the tool and how to support you. So if you have uh, questions, or you meet dead end with your task, you can definitely raise and ticket with Neo, and they will be happy in supporting you. So the last one is the, I guess, the value for money. I may not be the one to talk you about this, but as a user, uh, the support you're going to have with the Neotys, and the compatibility or the flexibility of the tool, and so the supporting many application, at least on our experience, it's definitely worth the investment. So you can try it out yourselves, and I'm very sure you will not disappoint with this tool. So I'm actually very happy I had an experience with this tool, and I am actually amazed how good is this tool. So okay, so in case so much for that. In case you would like to do a proof of concept activity as well, and testing a normal website is too easy for you, so probably uh, testing a mobile app will suit you, right? So let me just share you some of my knowledge in how to configure this, or how to fulfill this task. All right. So the first one should be, let's just have a high level understanding on how your device is communicating with the servers or the application servers, right? So basically, to give you some very high level idea, uh, for example, you open your mobile app, so it will establish communications with the server, and then the server will give some response that will be received by your device, right? And Neotys is somewhere in the middle, capturing those communication. So in return, Neotys will generate requests to with this traffic, and you will be able to record or do scripting with the business flows. So basically, that's just the high level understanding of what's happening, right? So now we know we do understand what's happening. So the next question is how. How are we going to do it, right? So probably the first one will be install latest NeoLoad certificate on your Android device. So these are the items you need to secure in order to be successful in this task. So when you download a NeoLoad on their site, it will provide you a certificate embedded on the NeoLoad installer. So you just go with this path user and then app data, roaming, Neotys, NeoLoad, and its version and the conf folder. So you will saw the certificate there, and you just need to transfer it to the mobile device. So once it is installed, you need to make sure that it is properly installed. So where can you find it? Uh, this is a case-to-case basis because uh, it is different from one device to another depending on the model. And in this kind of instance, we use Android device. So if you are using an Apple or some device that's not Android, the case might be a little different. But you can definitely play with your device, and it's not really is hard to find. So in this case, it is in the setting, and then security and location, and encryption and credentials. Then go to the trusted documents. One, it is installed there. You will not be you will not encounter a problem moving forward. Okay, so another item we need to secure now that the certificate is installed in the mobile device is we need to uh, secure that the uh, NeoLoad application, which is installed in your desktop or your laptop, let's just call it a controller machine moving forward. So the controller machine should be on the same network with your mobile device. So if you're using probably a home network, since we are working from home, you need to make sure that they are connected on the same Wi-Fi router. So not just connected, but as well as the proxies, because a NeoLoad is using a proxy server, so everything should be connected on the same network. So once you secure this, uh, what will you do next? So, or how are you going to make sure that the controller machine or the mobile device is in the same network, right? It's not just a matter of connecting to the same router, but what you need to do is to open your command prompt from your controller machine and get the IP address. So the code just is very simple, which is IP config, and will definitely show you the IP address. What we're going to do this is copy or get the IP address from your controller machine and put it in your mobile device. So again, how are you going to do it? Uh, Once you search your Wi-Fi connection, so you just need to long press it and go to modify networks and set proxy as a manual. So by default, it is searching automatically. So you need to search it to manual. So this is a sample picture of your device when you put it into manual. So you're just going to include the IP address you get from the uh, controller machine, and do note that you have to uh, input as well the proxy port, the one I'm talking about, because NeoLoad is using a port for the proxy server. So in this case, it's 1890, but the thing is, it should be the same. So IP address should be the same, and as well as the proxy port, as simple as that. So this is just the basic configuration. So we are done with configuring the mobile device, assuming that there's no issue arises along the way. You are now ready to record. So by the way, once you connect your mobile device and your controller on the same network, you will going to see that your mobile device doesn't have any connection at all. So don't be alarmed with this. This is expected, but when you start recording, it will definitely gain its connection because of a NeoLoad. So for some people who were able to uh, record NeoLoad using a normal web browser, this is the process of recording is definitely the same with the mobile. So the only difference is that you need to untick the checkbox here, start client, because the purpose of this function is to automatically open the browser once you hit OK button. All right. So you're going to untick this because you don't need the browser to open. You want the mobile application to open, right? So that's just it. And once you hit recording, the process is definitely the same with the bread browser. So I mean, you just do your thing on the web app and NeoLoad will capture all the requests with this one. So I know it's easy said than done, but you will definitely have a great time doing this because uh, NeoLoad is a very, very cool tool to work on. Just a little bit note with regards to the configuration. So for example, this one, though not mandatory, if you suspect firewall is blocking the connection between the mobile device and controller, disable the firewall. So we know that that's the purpose of the firewall. So most of the time it will block the connection. So it's either you turn it off or allow the NeoLoad application to pass through the firewall. The next thing is the corporate networks. So we all know that corporate networks are stricter or more strict because again they are protecting client data and for security purposes, right? But here, if it's preventing you to record or capture traffic because the networks are more strict, then it is advisable to use safe, less strict but safe private networks like home network. Just make sure that no one is hacking your home network. So as long as it is safe and it is private, I think there should be no issues with this. Uh, anyway, you will only need this during recording. Once NeoLoad was able to capture all the needed requests, then you can turn back the firewall or switch back to corporate networks. Again, another note is that NeoLoad advised to use a strong network. So here in the Philippines, it's quite problematic with most of the households, but having a strong network will definitely prevent you with most of the issues. So that's very important. Just make sure that your network connection is strong. All right. So I think that is pretty much that's it with the mobile testing. Or in case you don't have the application to test in the mobile, I would like to share with you some of my experience as well with the single sign-on. So single sign-on with the on-prem environments is totally different with single sign-on feature of a cloud provider because the authentication requires a third party authenticator, which is most of the time the cloud provider itself. So once we hit recording, the tool will have a challenge in capturing that authenticator, or unless you know how to create these codes, then you can definitely embed it in your script. But for people like me that don't know how to do this, it is good that NeoLoad was able to do some workarounds with this feature. So let me just give you some of the issues and resolutions with this one. So the main issue that we've encountered is again for cloud provided environments, the token is very hard to handle because this is being generated by the cloud provider themselves. So there are workarounds we managed to do to resolve this issue. So for NeoLoad, you can just use browsers like Chrome or Firefox. Don't use uh, Internet Explorer because they are directly communicating with the provider. So it's better to use Chrome or Firefox. The other one is to force to put credentials when you try to access the application. So you can do this by incognito mode. Once you once you access the app, so uh, it's like overwriting the function of the SSO, because once you're in incognito mode, you are required to put your username and password. So this will help the tool capture the credential part, which in turn will resolve your issue with the single sign-on. Okay. Another issue is no HTTP codes were generated. This is one is more of a challenge. So when we do recording, uh, actually after recording, you will be surprised that sometimes uh, the tool didn't record any requests. So what we did is just to check for some items, like you need to remember that NeoLoad is using proxy server. So what I mean is again, uh, as I've said earlier, it's using the port 8090. So you need to make sure that when you hit the recording button on your web browser, the proxy is also uh, 8090, or at least the servers is the same, and it's not detecting automatically. That's the word. So the browser should not be detecting proxy servers automatically, because you should be the one uh, inputting the proxy servers. So you should also check that the certificate is installed as trusted. So earlier you installed the certificate in your mobile device, but this time, since you are testing a web browser, you need to make sure that the certificate as well is installed as a trusted on that browser, so that NeoLoad can capture the network traffic. All right. So next is that after recording, so again, this is one of the challenges. There are too many hosts or servers included after the recording. So the way NeoLoad capture traffic is that everything that's traffic on it, NeoLoad will capture it. But after recording, you can definitely filter that out. But just to prevent some hassle, one of the solutions we've got is to close unnecessary applications like your Outlook or your Teams or any unnecessary browsers. So we would like to establish connection between the client and the application itself, and not and remove any other unnecessary applications along the way. But after recording, NeoLoad has a feature to filter this out, just to help NeoLoad filtering it out. Just don't open unnecessary applications during recording. So you should also be sure what servers you're going to hit once you filter the hosts after recording. So you need to ask your dev or someone who knows the servers, which servers you are hitting, because this is critical on your test, right? You don't want unnecessary servers uh, being tested on your scenarios, right? So just make sure that all the required servers are included on your script. Okay, so I think this one is more on the execution standpoint. So once you're done with scripting and every challenges has been resolved, you're going to execute now. But then again, load generators are unavailable. So that will prevent you from execution. So you just there are items you need to check to make sure that the controller or your controller machine will be able to connect with the load generators, because these machines purpose is to generate or create load on your applications, right? So it is generating virtual users, probably thousands depending on your license, that will hit the application servers simultaneously. So this one is very important to establish communications between the controller and the load generators. So one solution is to upgrade your generator versions. So NeoLoad is quite active in upgrading their versions. So you just need to make sure that the version in the load generator is somehow the same with the version of your controller. Uh, Sometimes NeoLoad will tell you that uh, the load generator's version is outdated, and you can just hit upgrade button and NeoLoad will do it for you. The other instance is that NeoLoad is using the 7100 port. So you need to make sure that this is enabled. So how to enable it? You just go to command prompt, but make sure you have admin access on the load generator machine, and this and just input this code: next netstat dash aon find listening, or meaning you're going to enable this port 7100. After that, you just have to restart the machine, and most of the time this will resolve your issue of load generators being unavailable or non-operational. Another thing we need to secure is that on the load generator machine, you need to make sure that the firewall is not preventing the app itself. So you need to go to the control panel and make sure that load generator agent and load generator agent underscore no privilege that exe are being allowed to access the firewall. So just to make sure, tick everything for domain, private, and public. Sometimes by default, it is not included on the allowed apps, but you can just browse the folder where this application is located and just add it on the control panel. You just need also to make sure that the load generator agent is running. By default, it is running, but sometimes it is in a stop status. So most of the time we do, in order to restart it, we just we just stop it and run it again, and then the load generators will be available on the controller machine. So it is in a green status. If the load generator is not available, it will show you, the control machine will show you a red status. So it's very clear if your load generator is available or not. And definitely, NeoLoad is there to support you with all the issues. At least based on my experience, I I quite raise a lot of tickets with NeoLoad, and they are all supported. And NeoLoad is very proactive in assisting us. So I think that's it for me. But if you have questions related to this uh, content or with NeoLoad, you can definitely reach me on LinkedIn or email me on this link. But a NeoLoad, as I've said, is very detailed when it comes to documentation. So it will help you a lot if you connect with these links. So for NeoLoad knowledge library, it's embedded in the tool itself, but you can go to the link I've provided. And if you want specific guidance when it comes to mobile testing, you can definitely click this link. But every link here is embedded in the tool, so it will not be difficult to find this one. I think that's it for me, Sriram. I don't have anything to add. Do you have something else to say?
Sorry, I was talking on mute. Thank you, Arzeth, for your very good insight. And as a first-hand experience, it was very deep dive in transitioning to NeoLoad and how easy it is. That was very, very
Yeah,
useful for us. Yeah,
yeah. And again, if you feel uh, difficulty in doing, Neotys is there to support you. So the supports are very knowledgeable with the tools. They can definitely answer your questions and fix some of your issues if you feel you're on the dead end. So that's a
yeah.
good point
Thank you.
for the vendor.
Yeah.